Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Turtles Impact, episode 2, and today we have the lovely Bernadette. How's it going, Bernadette?
It's going great, Dalton. How are you?
I am fantastic. It's been a really good day. I'm excited for this interview, honestly. I really greatly appreciate it. Bernadette, you are an athlete, an entrepreneur, and an ex-police officer. So you're kind of just an all-around badass.
Well, thank you. I was a police officer in Pueblo, Colorado for 12 years or so, and I'm retired. Right now, I'm just hanging out, working as a program coordinator for people with developmental and intellectual disabilities, lifting weights, doing jujitsu, and just kind of hunting, fishing, and loving every day, I guess.
That's pretty awesome. Just kind of living every day to the fullest.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and just go ahead and start digging into the questions. Can you tell us about your experience with the police force and then like, what exactly kind of led you away? You said mentioned before offset, it was a medical discharge.
It was I medically retired. I was hired in 2008 and I worked the graveyard shift my whole career. I Pueblo, if you don't know about Pueblo, Colorado, it's like in the top five most dangerous cities in Colorado.
Yep.
There's a high violence rate per capita, and well, the graveyard shift was pretty interesting. I
Yep.
have a lot of stories, but that's a different for a different time. In 2018, I was in on January 22nd. Actually, the anniversary is coming up. In 2018, I was in an officer involved shooting. So an individual shot into a house and a chase ensued, vehicle chase ensued. He shot rounds at me and I had to return fire, ultimately taking his life. And then later that year, I was responding to a call of a shooting on the other side of town and running lights and sirens, and I was hit by a vehicle and I thought I had just a concussion. I was taken to the hospital after feeling really weird, and they kept me for a few days, and I went home. I continued to go to work. Shortly after that, I noticed that like I couldn't recognize people like faces. My memory was weird. Just a lot of different things that didn't seem right to me. And especially like emotion wise, I would cry after calls and in my car, and I didn't know what was going on. So I went and had an MRI done, and it
Mhm.
turned out that during that accident, I got a traumatic brain injury. It was a brain bleed in my temporal part of my in my temporal lobe, and
Mhm.
I didn't know. I had headaches and like vision stuff, but after
Yeah.
that, I spent a little bit of time doing desk work as a cop, and then I was not fit to go back to duty after that, so I was medically retired.
Yeah. How did you like the desk work? Was that not really your thing? You know, like it.
No, yeah, it was going from high action, beat cop in a violent city where you're responding to like drive-bys and shootings and stabbings and just domestic violence. It's very active, very to like doing nearly nothing. I think I
Yeah.
filed papers and
Ah,
helped with
that sounds
training.
fun. Yeah. That sounds
So
so boring.
it
But
was so very boring.
yeah, I can see why you were getting into that. You did martial arts, right?
I did.
Yeah, so
Um,
tell us a little bit about that.
well, I've always been an athlete. I was in gymnastics when I was like 6 years old. I played volleyball. I was a cheerleader. I played basketball in
Mhm.
high school.
So
And
you've been
then
high
after high
school
school,
ever.
yeah,
Pretty, yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, just like always, I always liked to do physical things, I guess. I thought, having this body, this like machine that you can keep, if you keep it the right way, you can do so many cool things. And
It's
I've
a
always
rowing
just thought of it
machine.
that way. And then after I graduated, I moved and I started doing taekwondo. So I did when I went to college in Pueblo. That's how I got to Pueblo. I was born in Trinidad, Colorado, and I
Hmm.
went to school there. And then I went to college in Pueblo for CSU Pueblo. And I started doing taekwondo, and it took me almost 8 years to get my black belt in taekwondo. I had a very it was a very strict uh dojang that I went to, and I had a little Korean sabam nim who tried to teach me Korean, bless his soul, but it was very hard. I tried,
Yeah,
but and
it's
then
a rough.
after I started doing like a lot of MMA stuff.
That's awesome. What's your favorite martial art then? Was it the Taekwondo?
I think, well, I have a black belt taekwondo. I have a training black belt in karate. I'm belted
Mm.
in kung fu. And I have, I'm training in jiu-jitsu now. I'm pushing up on my blue belt.
There you go. Nice.
So,
How long did you say you've been at jiu-jitsu?
I've been doing jiu-jitsu. Well, I did MMA. We had a cops versus firefighter fight,
Oh,
MMA
that's
fight for charity when I was a
oh,
police
you know
officer.
what? I think I seen some stuff on that. A few of my friends were posting about it.
Yeah, we
That's
did that, and that was fun.
I can imagine. That is pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool when I seen it.
Yeah. So we raised a lot of money, and I trained
That's
MMA back then. So
okay. That's pretty fun. So, have you ever thought about getting in the cage? No, you probably not.
yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I can't. I want to so bad. I
There's
want to, but I can't like get hit in the head anymore.
that's what I was about to say, yeah. You can only take so many concussions, right?
You're right. I think the next one just might be it.
Yeah,
So
I don't I think you need to stick around for a little bit, a lot longer, I think. Yeah.
I'm having too much fun.
There you go. See? All right. So, how has being an athlete helped you overcome everyday challenges? Like especially getting discharged from being a police officer and then just being completely dead again, because I'm sure you were kind of spreading around on all that too, right?
Yeah, well, to tell you the truth, Dalton, I had a bit of like an identity crisis. I was like, what am I going to do with my life? How, I wasn't ready to not be a police officer. I wasn't ready for my career to be like just stopped. So I
So,
thought, okay, I need to do something else.
let me stop you 1 second. How old were you when you got the discharge?
It was only in 2020. So
Oh
it's two
wow.
years. I got in the accident in 2018, November 30th of 2018, and I retired in 2020.
Okay. Okay.
It was just
That's
a few years ago.
wow. Okay, continue. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that was clear too on how old you were at the times of all this stuff.
Yeah, so it's just a few years ago, and I came to after deciding I was I was cool with retiring. I moved up to Loveland, Colorado, which is way safer and it's
Yeah.
just a better place to be. So I didn't know what I was going to do here, and then I found my jujitsu gym, and what I was missing as being a police officer was the camaraderie of having it is like a family.
Yeah.
You had a
It is.
brotherhood, you fought by each other, you could depend on these people, and being in a new place and not having anyone, I was kind of just drawn to jujitsu and to the family that I found and the community I found within my gym.
That's
And I
awesome.
think the training has helped me as far as my TBI. I can't, I don't, I have problems with my memory a lot, and
Hmm.
I take a lot of notes. It's insane amount of notes and just a bunch of stuff that helps me out. But as far as like the training goes, I can't remember a lot of what I do, and I'm training in jujitsu, but my body remembers it. So it's like that mind muscle connection and the muscle memory that helps me move through all of these problem solving skills. It's like a game of chess. So I
There-
think mentally it helps me
Yeah.
create
Cognitive.
different pathways in my brain. Yeah.
There you go. That's pretty awesome. Do you get into the microdosing much?
No, I haven't. I actually have what my degree was in psychology. So
Okay.
I have done it extensive and in like psychoanalysis and in data analysis, a whole bunch of types of analysis.
Of
But
course.
as you would imagine with a psychology degree, but like I
Yep.
did a lot of research on how to treat TBIs and how to
Mhm.
control my behaviors and my thoughts, and working it with like cognitive behavioral therapy. I don't have a therapist, but I kind of treat myself using my degree and just
Yeah.
research, but
It's out
something
there,
like that
all the
helps.
research you need. That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is pretty great. So, the next question, I guess, can you share some insight onto your journey of your business? Tell us a little bit about that for starters. Your candles.
Oh, I run a candle business amongst my many hobbies, and
Yeah.
it's called the Fire Inside Candle Company. And
Okay.
I started it during 2020, during COVID, when we were all shut in our houses and couldn't find anything to do. I thought,
Nice.
man, I really love candles. I'm gonna start trying to make these.
There you
And
go.
I just started in my kitchen. I still make them in my kitchen. It doesn't matter how large my orders are. I have kitchen, living room space, and just kind of
There you go.
chug at it. But I
Make
always
use of
thought
it.
that, yeah, I always thought that I was pretty passionate about life in general.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking that, I've always had this fire, or this like flame, this like fire inside is what I
Yeah.
would like to call it, and it
Yeah.
drove me to like want to catch bad guys when I was a cop. It drove me to, you know what they say, cops are the ones that run towards the sound of gunfire when
Uh-huh.
everything in your body and your mind tells you you should be running away. So I think
Yeah.
it's that drive and whatever that was, that where I got the name from. So when I stopped being a cop, I thought, I still feel that fire.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be better. I want to be stronger. I want to be faster. I want to be more aware of my needs and my thoughts and my behavior. And I used candles as a form of to help me meditate.
Yeah. That's perfect.
So I would make different soothing smelling candles, and I'd light them when I meditated, which would help my TBI and kind of all
Oh,
the trauma I endured as a cop.
yeah. I can only imagine, especially being around in that area.
It's never a dull moment. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy. So, next question. How do you balance life between being a mom? You're a mom. That's one thing that I didn't mention too. How many kids you have?
I have two daughters that live with me, and I
Yep.
have a daughter that lives on her own in a different city. She lives
Okay.
with her fiance. So,
Okay. How do you balance between being a mom, an athlete, and then running the business?
well, it's a lot easier now than it was when they were small, because one's 18 and one's 12, so they're pretty like self-sufficient. But I'm very disciplined. Like I go to bed at the same time every night. I wake up at the same time every morning. It's just a lifestyle that I live, and it helps having
You
a
develop that,
schedule. Yeah. What was that, Dalton?
you develop that routine, and that helps with, I'm sure, the memory as well, along like long term, because if you're getting
Oh
set
yeah.
and ready, motion, because that's how I started. I go to bed early and then I'm waking up super early. But I
Yeah,
like that thing, the early to bed, early to rise makes a man young, healthy, and wise.
exactly.
All the sayings.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, I keep a pretty tight ship for myself. I wake
That
up
reflects
real
off.
early
Yeah.
and either go to jujitsu or lift, depending on the day. And then I'm home at 8. I start my what would be a 9 to 5, but it's 8 to 4. Kind
Hmm.
of I get to pick my schedule. But 4 o'clock, pick up my kiddo and cook dinner, and then head out to jujitsu or whatever. And I meal prep, and I keep a very tight schedule. And I think it helps, the less things that I have to like think about. If I just know that it's going to be this way, then it's less that I have to think about, and more that I just can rely on the process. I pick my clothes out before I go to bed. I have my gym bag ready. I have my gi, my whatever it is, my rash guards if it's no gi. Put everything together. So
That's
it's,
pretty
it's
awesome.
routine. Some
Yeah,
people would think it's boring, but
no, it's not, because then, like you said, you're so much happier. honestly the same thing with me. Like I have that developed a routine, and it makes me happy because like I don't have to stress about that part of my day because I know it's going to be set up. And like I make a list every day before I go to bed. Like that's one thing
Hmm.
that's always a must because then it just kind of it gives you like bumpers to go straight in the line, and it
Yep,
de-stresses you. It makes you, and it allows you to enjoy the journey. It really does. It
it
helps.
does.
And I mean, it's not even extra work. It really isn't, because after a while, it just becomes reflex, you know? People think
It's
it's,
your
oh,
lifestyle.
yep,
Yep.
exactly.
It's just how you live your life.
Hmm.
And
And
I get asked that question all the time is like, how do you stay motivated? What motivates you? And I'm like, I don't have a lot of motivation. It's all
yeah,
just discipline. It's
it's
just
discipline. Uh-huh.
I do the same thing every day. And then, but I still, I take the weekends and I do stuff I love. I do hunting stuff and I
There you go.
fish and I do a lot of other things, my 1 million different hobbies.
Yeah. You stay active and you're passionate about what everything you do. I love that.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. So, I guess what inspired you to start? Or I guess you already kind of covered the covered that one. That what inspired you to start the candles and kind of clicked. It was just kind of realizing you had the fire inside, and it, the with the candles helping you, you kind of felt like they would help other people, right? So that's kind of
Absolutely. Yeah. I started off actually making like manifestation candles
yeah.
where you can, and they had different crystals. They were very pretty. They had
Hmm.
crystals and just like different flowers and things to help you concentrate on whatever you're trying to like manifest. And I believe
Yeah,
in manifestation. I believe that we speak things into existence and
that we do.
that it's not just that you put the energy out into the universe and it comes back to you, but it's the type of energy that you put out there and
Hmm.
the type of like rewards that you're given for just living a good life,
Yeah,
being a good person. And just I don't know about karma or if I believe in karma, but I believe that when you wake up and you decide, because it's choice, you can wake up and you can do things that hurt other people, or you can wake up and just be a good person and do the best that you could do, be
yep.
positive, send out that positive energy, and just live a
Positive.
righteous life, I guess.
Yeah, and people don't realize you can teach goodness,
Yeah,
by
you
being.
can, and you can learn.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a lovely thing that what you're trying to do on your social media and stuff like that. It's just kind of
Hmm.
pushing that and like helping people, as many people as we can, you know? It's kind of a
Yeah.
passion, I guess, people like us have. It's pretty awesome.
And I get that. I've gotten that. People ask me like a lot, and they always have. I don't know what it is. They just tell me like my presence or just the way
Yep.
that I carry myself and how I've always just been out there to help people. Like being a cop it wasn't a career. It was a calling. It was
Mhm.
just I was answering what I was supposed to do with my life, and I think the lives of the people that I helped change and the victims that I helped and the bad guys I caught. No, that was the best part. That was the funnest part
Mm.
of it, is catching those
I
bad
bet
guys.
it was. That's awesome.
But
That,
especially I'm 5'1" and I'm about 125 pounds right now. So
uh, I
I'm
would have
not a
guessed you
big person.
taller. You look taller in your videos.
Everybody says that. Everybody tells me like, "Oh wow, you're just a tiny little thing," and I'm like, "What? Are you saying I'm small? I lift every
I would have
day. Like,
I would have guessed at least
please,
five.
you're gonna." No, I am 5'1" and I weigh about 125 pounds. So taking down guys that are just you know
Yeah,
giants compared to me
that's pretty
and
awesome. Working a
taking them to
night shift.
jail. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a treat. That is, I imagine. Can imagine the look on the other officers' faces too when they seen you bringing in some big dude. Like,
Oh no,
I
I
bet you got.
had quite a reputation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had quite a reputation and in our the academies after my academy, because I had already started martial arts and I could kick bags and take down bad guys, and we had to do a lot of the defense tactics stuff in the academy. So I've already built up this reputation to where like, oh no, let me tell you a story. And everybody had a story about how I would take down this guy or take down that guy, or they would never expect. And they'd bring me into the classes and they would be like, okay, we will give you don't have to take this other test. If you can take her down, if you can if you can get away from her, and it was fun. It was a game that we used to play, and
That's pretty cool. Almost like a
just
hazing.
being tough. Yeah,
Yep.
it's just being tough.
Yep. That is pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. I love that. You are just a badass, I tell you what. All right, let's so what kind of advice would you give someone else for wanting to start their business or just, starting a better life?
I would say ask a lot of questions. So when I first, it doesn't matter what hobbies, everything that I just go to, whatever it is in my life. I always start off with like a little bit of research, and then I like to listen to podcasts, and then I like to ask people who have that lifestyle or who are doing those things, and I'll just call them up. I'll ask them on social media. I'll look it up and I'll say, hey, so I noticed you do this. What did you do when you got started? How did you get this? Like, how much did it cost? And I just ask questions, and I tell people, you're going to get pretty annoyed with me because I'm going to ask you so many questions
Simple questions. That's what you got to
because I
do.
am so curious about everything. So,
There's a saying, the squeaky wheel doesn't get oiled, or the squeaky wheel gets oiled, right? Yeah.
yeah, gets the grease
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
something like that. Yeah. Yeah, you just
but
got to ask.
I think I do it in a cute way though. Like I try. I just
Yeah, you
kind of
try.
like slip on in there with like, hey, so I was wondering about that. And you can get a lot of people to respond. And
Yeah.
then just kind of like grind. Don't be
Mhm.
afraid to put in the work because no matter what, anything that's worth doing takes time. It's hard, and if you do it well, then you reap the rewards.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
just kind of be patient and do your research. Know it's going to cost some money. And just grind.
Yep, the whole spend money to make money. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people try to romanticize a lot of things, and they try to live beyond their means, and they put so much stuff out there, and they don't want to invest in themselves. It's like, why are you wasting your time? Why are
Yep.
you wasting your money on things that don't matter and you don't have to impress anybody? Like, take that
Yep.
time, take that money, and invest in yourself.
Exactly. People want the expensive cars and this, that, and the other, and just to overshow people. That's not what matters in life. Like,
No,
you can't, for one, you can't take that to your grave, and two, that's not gonna make you more money. Like, because you
no,
depreciate a car the longer you have it and the longer you drive it. So you will never ever see the same money that you put into that car, you know.
unless
But
unless you drive a Toyota Tacoma.
it's a total, yeah.
I'm sorry,
All
it's
right.
my favorite vehicle. I have a truck.
Yeah, that's pretty. Honestly, that is the next vehicle that I'm aiming for. Is the Tacoma. It looks like pretty nice. I've seen some pretty nice setups for it too, but I might
It's
have to get
worth it.
like, yeah, that's
Oh
pretty.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're worth it.
yeah, especially up in the mountains. I'm sure they're pretty decent vehicles.
Yeah, I ran 200 and almost like 250,000 miles on my 2013, and I
Oh,
just
wow.
got a 2023. So
Nice.
that's my
Moving
work
on.
truck, and this is my other
Your gift,
truck.
other
Yeah,
truck. Yeah, that's awesome. Two hundred
for
fifty
everything
thousand.
else.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. So, what were some breaking points of the like success of the candles? What have been the most memorable experiences from it?
I think. Well, I started making them, and then I started selling them on like Facebook Marketplace, I think. And
Okay.
so people would buy a couple, and they'd be like, "Oh, these are so great, and they smell great, and they light." I'd have they're
Good man.
100% soy wax. They burn up to 72 hours. I did all the quality control on myself. I'm quite the scientist. Just kidding. But
Mhm.
yeah, and then they would just start buying them, and then one couple times I'd get a wholesale like order where I would have to make or sell 50 candles. And I was like, wow, people actually,
Pretty
and
awesome.
they were
Yeah.
giving really good reviews. And then I started being able to sell them at different stores downtown and then different areas. And taught myself how to make a website, create a website and how to take
So
pictures
you,
of them and everything.
so you started teaching yourself how to do all the online marketing and stuff like that.
Yep.
Nice. Awesome.
Yep.
See,
I've done it
the
all myself.
out there. That's pretty great. That is pretty fantastic.
Yep.
Go ahead. Continue. Continue. Yeah.
So yeah, just like the reviews that I would get. just from selling them on Marketplace. And then I learned how to create a website off I think it was GoDaddy's what I use. Is super easy.
Yeah.
But it's not easy when you start.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trial and error. You have to be patient and especially when you're like teaching yourself anything. But
You got to give yourself credit. Can't put yourself down all the time.
yeah, no, just know that you're going to figure it out. It doesn't matter what it is in life. If it's hard, it's just going to be hard. Learn to do hard things and
Yep.
just know that you're going to figure it out, however long it takes, whatever it is.
I love that. Exactly. Can't be discouraged so easily. That's how
And no.
it's just, and the discipline comes in. You just can't give a shit about those feelings, you know?
Yeah. And I tell myself that every day if it's cold outside, because we all do the same thing in the morning. You're warm and it's
Yes.
yeah. If you're
So,
warm and it's cold outside and it's early and you're thinking, I can have a rest day. But
yeah.
instead
Yep.
of thinking these things, I tell myself, you know what? It doesn't matter how you feel. Just get up.
Yep.
Just get up and do the thing that you have to do. This is your life. This is what you want. Just do what you have to do. Just get up. So that's my self-talk.
There
It's
you
like, it
go.
doesn't matter how you feel. Nobody cares.
Exactly. Get the fuck up. No one's, it's not gonna, who are you gonna hurt? You're only hurting yourself right now. Come on.
It's
Yeah.
like you're going to be miserable the rest of the day if you don't get out of bed and go work out.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, can you imagine how you felt the last time you tried doing this shit? Let's go. Get
Oh,
up. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah, so no, and I love that. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
You're putting that fucking bitch voice to shame. Like you're just straight up triangle choking the fuck out of him, arm barring, yes, you know.
Yeah. I'm just
So
like, I laugh at myself too. I'm just like,
same,
nobody cares. It doesn't even matter. Just get
exactly.
up.
Okay, so that I don't know if that works for everyone, but I mean for me it does too, because that's literally what I mean. That's a lot of the greats. That's what happens to them. But I mean, some people are really sensitive and like they need to be kind to themselves, but there's some things that I say to myself that I probably would never say to another human being.
Oh, I would never.
Yeah,
No, I'm so nice to people. Like, I would never. I don't even talk bad about anyone.
yeah,
But the
exactly.
way I talk to myself, it's just self-abuse in its own form.
Yeah, but it works. It works. It gets us to do the damn thing, right? So,
Yeah, I mean, but I'm kind to myself too. If I have an
yeah,
injury, I'm
no,
like, okay, I'll roll light today, but I'm still
yeah,
gonna go to the gym.
yep,
Like if I'm injured, if I have like my shoulders kind of fucked up, but
yeah,
I still, if it hurts one day, then I work legs. And
yeah.
my kids tell me
Just
all the
work
time,
around it. Yep, I love
yeah,
that.
my kids tell me all the time, like, my 12-year-old's hilarious. She's a middle schooler. Oh my God, she's hilarious. But they tell me all the time, like, oh, mom's got an ankle injury. She's gonna get upper body jacked. Or like, oh, mom's shoulders hurting her. She's gonna get lower body jacked. Or, geez,
Yeah,
mom, your quads. And I'm like, thank you. I love you,
thank
kids. You're
you.
great.
That's awesome. See, it's great to have that encouragement too. I love that.
They're my number one hype. Like my 12-year-old's my number one hype man.
And that's
She's a
fucking
girl, but she's a hype man.
yeah, nice. Of course, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So,
awesome.
and,
Oh,
and
go
they're
ahead.
I guess they're my main inspiration. I'm a single mom. So like I can't there's no giving up for me. I have no backup.
Hmm.
There's nobody's coming to save me. I have to do this for me. I have to do this for them. And I always have. And I always will. So I guess if there's the number one inspiration would be them.
Yeah,
Um,
that's pretty great. Yeah, of course,
how it
of
goes.
course. Did you say tacos?
No, I said that's how it goes.
Oh,
But do you want tacos? I mean,
I
you could probably have tacos if you want
I
tacos.
I I could have tacos. I am golfing right now, so so the next question: how do you? So you were saying the motivated motivation. That's pretty much like just wanting to be better, pretty much, and your
Yeah,
kid trying to show everyone how to be better, right?
right, right. I need to show them. I need to show my girls what it's like and what a strong woman looks like and
Yeah,
what you can do if you just don't let anybody tell you what to do. Just do
yeah,
what you want to do,
that's
live
fine
the
too.
life you want, and make sure that you do it the right way. So I think I teach them a lot because parents teach their kids by talking a lot. And I think that I teach them by showing them. I think my actions speak a lot louder than my words do.
Yeah,
So,
that they do.
but
That's what a lot of parents don't realize too, because like they can preach it all day long, but if like you become a hypocrite, you literally become a hypocrite by telling your kid, "Oh, you need to be eating this, you need to do this," but if you're not fucking doing it, then
yep,
how can you distill it onto anyone else? You know,
yep,
I that's how I feel like about being like like a personal trainer or someone that's making someone else better, being a coach, just an all-around coach. And
yep.
how are you supposed to distill being better and to make warriors if you've never lived the life, you've never had that discipline, and like you're pretty much there to just be there, you're not even kind of involved with your team and stuff like that,
Yep, 100%. It's like they're going to look at you and they're going to be like, how can you tell me how to live my life when this is how you live your life? Like,
Yeah,
don't talk about it, be about it, you
yep,
know?
exactly.
Be about it.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
fucking A. That's how it is. And like that's the biggest problem with the kids and obesity and just them being unhealthy, because a lot of it
right?
it comes from the parents. Comes from the
And there's a
parents.
time for everything. Kids can play video games. There's a time for
Yeah,
that, but there's a
yeah,
time for like meal prepping and there's time
yep,
for like get outside and get some sunshine, you
yeah.
know?
Of course, they have to be a kid, right? Play around
Right.
especially, and you want your kid to be relevant. That's one thing that's big in today's world, is the relevance of somebody, and that's kind of,
Exactly.
if they're relevant with like up to date technology, this, that, and the other, because like they're our next generation. So of course they need to be a little bit, there's that just happy medium and kind of not being so strict on like telling them hourly on this stuff and that stuff. But I think it needs to be like a percentage.
Yeah, get them into
That's
stuff early. Like my kids are nerds.
sports.
Seriously, they are so nerdy and they love like sports. Like my youngest she's good at everything. It's so frustrating. Like
Well, see, how's that?
everything.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, yeah. She comes in and she's like, "Mom, I could do more push-ups than you." I was like, "Let's see them."
Oh snap! That's great.
She can't. She can't
Challenging.
though, but she thought
Yeah,
she could. I was
just cute.
impressed by the effort.
Oh, yeah, that's great. I love hearing that. That's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. So, do they do? Have they been interested in jujitsu at all?
Oh, Sophie has my youngest has she's gotten a stripe, but she doesn't.
Okay.
She's more of a ball handler. She likes different balls, like a bunch of other sports that involve just
Yeah, like
basketball.
basketball and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. That's pretty
And
good. Sports.
Mia doesn't. She doesn't play sports. She likes books. So she's going into college. So she's very, 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 very smart. She played volleyball and she lifts weights. So,
She's gonna be a monster when she grows up. Then.
oh my gosh. Yeah.
I
You've got to
don't think
teach
you
them when
have
they're
much to
young.
worry about. Yeah, exactly. You're distilling onto them discipline, and that's what makes you succeed in life. That is your freedom. Discipline is freedom around here,
It
especially in
really
that.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It teaches you a lot about yourself, because if you can get up and just do the things that you're supposed to do every day without wavering, it teaches you a lot about what you can do and just what your future holds. Because in their minds, in their head, I'm going to be the voice. I'm going to be the voice in their mind when they want to quit. They're gonna be like, "No, mom would
Mom said
never.
that she's
This would
watching.
never be okay."
And then like when you pass, yeah, exactly. And like when you pass away, it's just like, that's what they're you're looking down on them, and that's how they're always gonna think, you know,
Yep.
from the moment you passed away. So it's like it'll sticks with it's your legacy. It is literally your
Yep.
legacy, you know.
Absolutely. You got to be a good woman to raise good women, and be a good man to raise good sons, I guess.
I can't say
Goes both
I.
ways.
Yes, yeah, of course.
Goes
I've
both
never
ways.
had children. Yes, it does. That's yeah. I've done my fair share of coaching kids and whatnot, and then I helped
Yeah.
out a really good friend of mine back when COVID happened. He was actually like a sponsor slash boss slash coach of mine. He actually promoted me to my blue belt. So what would happen was his wife was on active duty. Air Force, and she had to go deal with like COVID shots and stuff like that. So she was gone for months, and then what we did was we ran jujitsu tournaments with Fuji BJJ.
Oh yeah.
As you know, COVID shut down all events, so we couldn't
Hmm.
run the events. So he ended up getting a regular 9 to 5 job, doing some concrete work, and I ended up pretty much bringing his at-home nanny. So I raised his 3 kids for him, woke him up. He had a 1 year old, a 2 year old bubble boy, I would like to
Oh
say,
my
because
gosh.
he was allergic to everything. He was allergic to beef and garlic. He's doing so much better now, and he's growing up, and it's amazing. But this was, like I said, this was during COVID, so he's probably 6, 7 now, almost.
Oh
But
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and he's actually in wrestling too. Like his dad is has been a wrestling coach. His dad's pretty phenomenal. He's a great dad. So, which Tim Worthland, if Fuji's ever in your area or anything like that, he's usually the guy, the face that
Okay,
you
I'll
see.
check him out.
Yeah, you should. He does. He helps people out tremendously. So if you ever in the future want to like a super fight or something like that, he'd be a guy to get a hold of. He's like, I used to call him the Godfather of Jiu-Jitsu because like everybody knew him. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
he was the guy that ran Fuji BJJ. It was a cool kind of meeting him and stuff like that. But yeah, so the bubble boy, and then there was a 7 year old as well. But I ended up having to like cook like 3 meals and stuff. It was a bit what got me so great at cooking and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was an adventure for sure. But I'm still
Oh, that's beautiful.
yeah, and the thing, even then, I still managed to train super hard. Like he had some mats that we had put set up in the garage, and then I had a big tire I'd flip in the back and sledgehammer, and then
Hmm.
like I'd set the kids up with their own little circuit. Like I had them training it with me
Yeah.
next to me. So I had hit the little man. He had his like little golf club and stuff, or bat that he would hit the tire with. It was good.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they're just having fun. They don't know they're training.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. See, and
They're
that's
just
a
out there
beautiful
having
thing.
fun.
But hey, pick this weight up. It's awesome. You can do what I do, So you can kind of,
Yeah.
it's like I said, distilling that onto them. You start going to
Exactly.
the gym and you bring your kid in there at the time, like, but
Hmm.
parents don't get that either. I get it. Gyms have an age limit, and I get it. People get mad when there's screaming kids and stuff. But like, if you can teach your kid to like, I don't know, pay attention relatively, you can distill the hard work and like try and get them interested in what you're doing.
Yep.
I don't I think maybe like between 6, at the age of 5 or 6, you could probably start getting them to like do some kind of exercises.
Make it a
I
contest. Tell them you
Yes.
can beat them at anything. They'll want to try you. And
Yeah. There you
that's one of
go.
my goals is I got to beat all my kids for as long as I possibly can. Like they can never be faster or stronger than me for a very long time.
Yeah.
It's
I
going to be
love
a very long time.
Yeah. I love that. So tell us about like what are your future plans with the candle company and
Ooh,
give us some
well,
description what your goals
with
are.
my candle company, I'm just going to keep selling candles. I
Yeah.
like to do holiday stuff. Valentine's Day is coming up, so here's a funny thing. I go to jujitsu and I either smell like vanilla or like some kind of candy or like like
See, that's
lavender and everybody notices. They're like, oh, she's making candles today because like she came in
okay.
smelling like vanilla cupcakes. And I'm like, sorry
That's
guys, I smell like candy today. Sorry, it's in my
yeah.
hair.
It's in your hair.
Yeah.
That is perfect marketing. You can walk around, everyone's gonna ask you, "Hey, what's that scent?" "Oh, hey, I sell this candle. You here, try it out."
Yeah, I do. I'm like, hey, I'm working on these like vanilla lavender cupcakes. You want to see what it smells? Smell my hair. This is what it smells like. Or like
Yeah.
I'm working on these Valentine's Day cupcakes now. Valentine's Day like candy, the little heart
Oh,
candy, scented
yeah, yeah.
candles. So I went
Okay.
in yesterday and I'm like, I smell like candy, guys. I'm not sorry about it, but like,
Oh, sorry, but you guys want
so
to
you
buy this?
know. And they're like, no, I want to roll with you because that smells just
They
delicious.
they
Like,
hold you in side
okay,
control.
calm down now. Calm down. Settle down
Yeah,
now.
that's funny. That
Yeah.
is pretty great. So, and what about the
So,
athleticism? What's
um,
athlete career, I suppose you want to call it.
well, I'm still doing stuff for Bucked Up. So if you promo code is BurnBucked311 if you want to use that for discounts. As you know, Dalton, you also have a gig there with Bucked Up.
I do, but I will
And
give you
then
all.
oh, well, thank you.
Mhm.
And then
That's
working in jujitsu, getting just learning as much as I possibly can. It's really just I love it so much. It's so fun. And I learned so much. And then I have a few things on the back burner that I'm working on
mhm.
right now. I think I told you about one of my long-term goals, but I'm not gonna say anything about that yet.
Hush, hush. Yep. Which I'm
Yeah,
so proud of
but
you and excited for you.
thank you.
It's gonna be amazing, and I know it's gonna blow up. Everyone's gonna love it.
It's gonna be fun. But
Yeah.
and for right now, I'm just getting back into getting my personal trainer certificate. And it's got a nutrition, a performance. Let's see what else, mobility, some other things, and actually an MMA section that they're
Oh,
training for that
what is
part through.
it?
It's NASM.
NASM. Okay, NASM. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
hmm So they have a an MMA section that I just
Cool.
popped up, and I'm studying that now. Just doing a little studying, a little learning, gonna get those certs, and then try for that big project, and we'll see how that goes.
That is
I'm
pretty
ready.
awesome. Yeah. Hell yeah. So it
Yeah,
sounds like your year is gonna be going pretty awesome, and you got some big goals to try and
yeah.
get through.
Big dreams, big goals. New year.
New year, yeah. But I'm sure you were working on these goals in the past, so it's like new year, same you, just
Oh yeah,
advance.
it's like everything that I've ever done has led up to this point,
Yeah.
and at this point, it's kind of like a catalyst for the next big thing. So
Yeah.
it just put me in the place to where I'm supposed to be, I suppose. It feels
All
like
right.
it is right.
Yeah, that is great. That's fucking perfect. That's all it is. It feels right. It makes you happy, and it does good for you. You know.
Yeah,
It
I
seems like
want to be
you're
my
doing.
own boss.
Yeah. That's yeah, exactly. That's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. You know, you don't have to worry about anybody on your own time. So it takes a lot of work. You know, it's you're putting in those 100 hours a week in marketing and just learning and studying and making the product and stuff. And
hmm
but still, it is your own time. It's you. It's your own. It's your legacy. It's your product. It's your baby. That's how I see it.
Right.
I see the turtle as it's my baby, and I won't ever give up on it. You know.
No, and
And
you're doing phenomenal too. I mean,
I really,
everything you put out there is gold.
yeah. It's I would say some silver medals are out there too. Some silver is the kind words. We're getting there, and it's gonna get better every day because we're not stopping, and we learn every day. We invest in ourselves, and that's where we get the beautiful world that comes to us. We get to see the beautiful side because we're gonna put beauty into the world, so it comes
I
back.
think that's what matters. Beauty
Yeah.
and then momentum. Just start building that momentum.
Mhm.
That's
You get
it.
that
Just
momentum,
get
and
going.
yep, yep,
Yeah.
and of course the discipline, make it freedom. That is pretty awesome. So I'm kind of curious. It's 45 minutes. Can you give us and I guess 1 to 2 stories that you can share about being on the force that kind of, I don't know, changed your mind on some things or just was super crazy that you don't think any would have ever happened in a million years?
Oh my gosh. You see some stuff that you are like, you have no idea.
Yeah.
It's stranger than fiction. Like you
Ooh.
can't make this up. I
Can,
was telling a story the other day about this one lady. She was mad at her girlfriend. They were having a domestic dispute of a sort, and she
mhm.
was a bit suicidal. So she decided she's going to take her car over to her girlfriend's house, and she's going to commit suicide in front of her girlfriend. But
Oh,
she gets out of this is how she's going to do it. She runs
mhm.
herself over with her own car. So she gets
What?
out. Yeah, she gets out of the driver's side of the car. She's at her girlfriend's house, and it's a slight slope. And she gets out of her car, and she goes around the front and lays on the ground in front of her moving car. And the car
Mhm.
runs over her, but it doesn't hurt her. It like sprains her knee. Like it
Oh,
runs over her midsection. You can't make this stuff up. It's stranger than fiction. And it doesn't hurt her. I'm running down the street trying to get to the door to like stop the
stop.
car. Yeah.
Oh
And
my
she's like
goodness.
lying there holding her knee. She's fine.
How does it hit her knee if it, oh my goodness.
She laid down directly in front of the car. It ran over her midsection and her knee,
Oh my
and it
goodness.
hurt her knee. And her midsection was fine. It was like a Toyota Corolla or something.
Was she like super skinny or was this like a bigger girl?
No, she was of average. She's
Average?
average, not like skinny or heavy, just like
Yeah.
probably well taller than me,
No,
like
see, the
5'10".
universe works in mysterious ways. It was just not her time.
Yeah,
Wow, that is pretty crazy.
that's just one crazy story.
What
I don't know.
story?
I think uh, I've s- I've seen I've seen a lot of death. I've seen a lot of like gunshot wounds, and
Hmm.
I've had my fingers in gunshot wounds.
Ooh,
Probably saved a few lives. I
that's
know I've
awesome.
helped a few victims. I think
Yeah.
that another story that kind of sticks out is
Mhm.
Pueblo's kind of a small city, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm a very it's a population is predominantly Hispanic, and
Hmm.
I am as you've seen, I am a very white woman. I have Hispanic heritage, and you know a little bit about my heritage as well. But like I present a very white woman with tattoos, blonde hair. So I
Yep.
stand out on the police force, and I don't
Uh-huh.
look like a lot of the other cops.
And you're beautiful, so I can
Uh,
only imagine.
oh, well, thank you.
You're
But
welcome.
so going to Walmart or to like the grocery store or anywhere like that, I'd wear like a ball cap. I wear a ball cap a lot anyway. It's
Hmm.
kind of my thing. But
Yeah.
one time I met with this woman who recognized me, and she came up to me. She's like, Officer Lambert, Officer Lambert. And I'm like, yes, ma'am, can I help you? And I wasn't in my uniform. I'm shopping. Didn't have my kids with me or anything. And she's like, do you remember me? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't. And she said, well, I was sexually assaulted and you stopped it and took the guy to jail and you made me feel safe. And now she has a job. She's like doing all these other
Oh,
things. And she's like,
that's pretty
you
awesome.
saved my life.
And she changed her life.
Yeah.
That's
And I
awesome.
was like, oh, as soon as she said that, I remembered. But
Yeah.
you see a lot of people. There are a lot of people, but
That's pretty. I bet that
very
made you.
interesting. I felt like I was doing good, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just feel like you're doing good in the world, and that's why I was there, you know.
Hmm. Right.
But
You were there at the right time. Like you say, everything happens.
yeah,
Everything happens for a reason.
yeah,
You know.
that's true. Oh, and I used to do a lot of community projects down there.
Okay.
I started a community oriented policing project called
Uh-huh.
Cops for Help. So I used the old substation, the police substation, and I
Okay.
collected a lot of donations of blankets and clothes and prom dresses, and I would
Hmm.
give them to so like the clothes, we had a huge population of homeless people, and
Yeah.
so they would come in and I collect suits and like dress clothes so that they could use the substation as an address when they went out and looked for jobs. So we would get like donations of barbers doing haircuts and ladies doing like haircuts and things like that, and we take a couple of homeless people who were going for an interview and get them all dressed up in their suits or their dress clothes, get them shaved or their hair cut, and have them use the substation as like an address so that they could go out and get a job and be employed.
Oh
So
wow, that is really
yeah,
awesome.
I did that, and then I collect like blankets and shoes and clothes in case fires and such when people would lose everything and they needed blankets, or if I show up on like a child neglect and they didn't have clothes or diapers or feminine hygiene stuff, and I put together little bags of socks and soap and stuff for just like the homeless people in our area, gift cards for food, things like that. And a couple of for like 5 years in a row when I was able to do that, I collected prom dresses for any like just formal dresses. and I
Hmm.
had a little room inside the substation where I put up a mirror, and
Yeah.
these young girls who were going to prom and they couldn't afford prom dresses because Pueblo's a
Yeah.
very it's there's a lot of poverty there.
Hmm.
So any of the girls that couldn't afford prom dresses, they would come to the substation, and they I had a variety of dresses for them to look at, and I had a big standing mirror and kind of like a little like pedestal kind of thing. So their mom or their sister, whoever would come and help them get all dressed up, and they would stand there and look at themselves in the mirror. And that was priceless. Them
Yeah.
being able to find a dress and be able to go to prom or like homecoming or whatever, and be able to just like, live, be a kid and do the,
Seen
the things that kids can do, teenagers can do. And that was really fun. I think I loved that the most.
you changed some little girls' lives, it sounds like.
Yeah.
You've been
Oh my
changing it
gosh, and they're so
for a
cute.
while. Yeah, that is
Yeah,
pretty awesome. You're just
that's
that's it's fantastic. This world is very, very grateful to have you on it. Seriously.
oh well, thank you.
Yeah, you're doing amazing things.
I'd like to think so sometimes.
But that's one thing you gotta be very kind to yourself on. You are doing amazing. And I'm sure you've got so many other people that you're inspiring right now. And that's what I'm really hoping comes from all of this is the podcast and everything is that we just inspire a bunch of people to live their lives and to be happy and to know that if you just put the work in, anything is possible. If there
Yeah.
is a will,
And
there's a.
to allow yourself to be happy. You
Mhm.
know, a lot of
That's
people
what you
just
get.
like they don't
Sometimes
allow themselves to be happy. They hold their past against them. They
mhm.
hold, their it's like, dude, you're a changed person now. Let it go.
Yep.
Don't live in your past. You have the right to be happy. Like
Uh,
allow yourself to be happy.
yeah. People get that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
They don't feel like they are, but you got to work past that. Realize how far you came. You're not that dude anymore. You're not
Yeah.
gonna fall back, and you're carrying on this momentum and the fucking discipline that you've adapted and created and grown from that point to this point. You've got to keep
Yeah.
reminding yourself of that.
Focus on the future. Don't look back. Just
Yep.
look ahead. Focus on the future. That's all
Focus
that
on the future.
matters.
Live in the moment and fucking and make your goals and don't deviate from the fucking plan.
Yeah.
That's
Just stay the
uh
course.
yep, the whole fucking way. All right, Bernadette. I will not hold you any longer. It has been an hour. And it's
All
been a
right.
lovely experience getting to know you. And I'm super happy you got on here.
Thank you, Dalton. Thank you so much
Absolutely.
for having me. And I feel privileged to be your friend and to be able to be inspired by your content. And I look forward to everything you put out there. And let's just keep on keeping on.
Yeah. Hell yeah, maybe we can collab one of these days and get a gym session in.
That'd be fun.
Do some jujitsu because I'm wanting to hit some more gyms. I need to get into some more academies.
All
Add some.
right. Anytime you're in Colorado, come visit.
Hell yeah. All right, Bernadette. You have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye bye.